I'm thinking something like... Hi. You look so good today.
Thank you.
Like a bright, beautiful, just like rainbow, gorgeous.
Oh, my rainbow earrings.
Yeah, you look really good. You look tan.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I was outside this weekend a lot.
Oh, you look amazing.
I was trying to get a little bit of tan before I go to Aruba.
Oh, okay. We will talk about that.
Okay.
But you know how we do. We get sidetracked.
Let's talk about the amazing
Oh my God.
guest we had today.
I'm almost going to cry because I love her so much.
Go for it. We haven't cried yet.
I know. Anjelah Johnson-Reyes, amazing comedian, amazing career. So grateful. Dude, like Nashville, the people who live in this city,
I know.
we're just so lucky to
We are.
have such talented, amazing people.
Yes. I didn't know she lived here
Yeah.
until now.
Yeah. You're like, until she showed up at my house.
She's fun. Her energy is really good.
Yeah. And very strong. And like, I just, I respect her a lot. It's just cool to hear. I was like, oh, you must have been such a like hard worker, go getter. And she's like, nah, bro, I don't want to work. I'm like, wow. Yeah. It was just really cool to spend a lot of time with her. And she's grounded.
Yes.
For someone who's so famous and, big, very grounded person, good energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can tell when, I've said this before, seeing different comedians do different things, and you can just tell when someone's talking about their story and they've done some work around it.
Yes.
And she's, I don't know, I enjoyed listening to her. I feel like I didn't talk very much because I was just listening to her tell her story, and you come with the good questions.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good one. God, I'm going to get fired if I don't come up with some good shit.
Next one, you're just, I have a question.
I'm going to have a list.
Yeah.
Questions.
Y'all are really going to enjoy this. I'm sure you already know about Anjelah, but if you don't, get ready to fall in love.
Yes. Enjoy that one.
325, please.
Yeah.
Number 26. I did 26 today.
Well, I normally do gel.
Did you just get them done?
Too.
Yeah, I just got them done. I liked it on the thing where I pointed, and then when it got on me, I was like, Easter.
No, they look
I like
nice.
it.
No? Okay.
It
They
looks
look nice.
good with your skin color too.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I love nails.
Do you?
Amber's obsessed with them.
Yeah.
It's
That's
her
like,
thing.
yeah.
Show her yours.
Like, do you follow nail art people? Oh, that's pretty.
These are real flowers. Aren't they cute? No. They are.
Stop. Get out.
No.
I hate you.
Do you have a nail girl?
Not here in LA, I do.
Okay. There's a nail girl I go to. That's amazing.
Here.
Yes.
Does she do Gel X?
Yeah.
Does what?
What's her name?
You already don't trust it.
What is the gel what?
Gel X. It's like not acrylic. It's just gel that gets hard. So it's not like plastic.
More
or glue.
gel than regular gel?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because
So
I
it's
normally like to do, is that gel
yeah.
X?
Yeah. See, go like this. And it's just gel that has been hardened.
But they don't look thick. I got.
No.
What did you get? Dip?
I normally get the gel, but this is dip, and I
Yeah,
hate
don't
it.
do dip.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Dip, no good.
Oh shit. Yeah, dude, she's really good.
That was the only time. That was the only one.
Amazing. Is that? Oh, sorry. That joke, that clip. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
What could you be talking about?
Wait, that's you?
That's exactly what I did about Bon Qui. I was like, wait.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're here. I mean, I was glad anyway, but I'm like, that is really neat.
Is that what made you viral? These mics make so much noise.
Well, as
dude.
soon as you said that, I was like, it registered in my brain as like, I've heard that before. And where I talked, it was like my brain was going, that's her. Anyway, yeah, good.
Yeah, that was my first big hello world.
Wow. Well, how did that feel when that first went? Were you like, huh? Or were you like, ah?
Well, YouTube was brand new. Nobody knew what that meant.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. 17 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So nobody really knew what was happening.
Yeah.
I for sure didn't know what was happening. This was MySpace days. You know what I mean?
Wow, dude.
So it was like my MySpace page started blowing up like crazy. And
Wow.
people from all over the world were messaging me. And I was like, what? Like, how does this guy in New Zealand know who I am? Like, what?
Wow.
Yeah, wild.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that was, I started getting fans after that, like coming to my show.
Oh.
And I remember I had a spot at a bowling alley. It was in the back room of, I think it was Lucky Strike Bowling Alley. And I was doing like 10 minutes there. I posted it on my MySpace page that I was performing at Lucky Strike Bowling Alley.
Oh, shit.
And I remember I showed up. I'm just like at the back of the room, just like waiting for my turn. And then there was like a group of people and they were like, oh, hey, we came to see you. And I had no idea who they were. And I was like, me? And they were like, yeah. I was like, how did you know I was here?
You told the world.
Yeah.
Dude.
And they were like, MySpace. And I was like,
wow.
oh. And so they're like, yeah, we came out from Riverside. That's like an hour away, like 45 minutes, an hour away.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, no way. And I was like, I'm only doing 10 minutes. Because I felt so bad that they drove all the way out there.
Aw.
And they're like, yeah, no, we came to see you. We're so excited. And I was like, oh, wow. And that was my first time registering. People were wanting to see me tell jokes and they were coming out to see me.
Were you like managed or anything at that point?
At the time, so I had an acting manager, but I didn't have an agent or anything like that. And after the video blew up, I ended up signing with a manager who managed stand-up comedians, and then got an agent from there as well, and moved on.
Your manager
from there.
before was just like, just managing, just a local manager.
She was great, but she had no idea what to do with stand-up comedians.
Wow.
So it didn't make sense. Like I could have stayed with her to like be nice.
Yeah.
But what's the point? That's not helping her or me.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But mainly not helping me.
Yeah.
So so I left to go be with a manager who managed stand-up comedians and could help me grow my career.
Yeah.
So
Did you get like geeked out being all of a sudden famous?
yeah, I remember it was strange, and I started getting phone calls from like family members that were like, hey, there's this email going around at work, this video, and somebody sent it to me and it was of you. And I was like, girl, what video?
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, it was like context. And she was like, yeah, it's you doing this nail salon joke. And she's like, but the crazy thing is they didn't send it to me because they're like, oh, look, this is your cousin. Like they didn't even know that I knew you. It's just going around at work.
Wow,
like that was
so cool.
That was the thing that was happening. And it was like my family members were like, people are talking about you. Like, yeah. Yeah, it was wild. And I remember being young. I don't know why I'm thinking about this moment, but I remember being young in Pop Warner cheerleading, and I was at a cheerleading competition, and there was this young girl she was a teenager, but she was a singer, and she had like one single that was on the radio in the Bay Area. So she wasn't even like a worldwide singer. It was just like she had a single in our area, you know? But I remember she was at our competition, and I was walking around with her and some other girl who was my friend, and she was like kind of famous, and I'm young at the time, and I remember asking her like, what's it like being famous? And she was very nonchalant about it. Like, you know, it's whatever. It's like, you know, like you have to sign autographs and like
Just locally.
But it's like, it's cool, you know, like, you know, it was very, and I remember being like, so curious and like, what is that like? Like people stop you and like you and
You wanted that, you think, from that?
I think I did. Like, not that that's where I am today. Like, I want to be famous. It's definitely like the more famous I got, the more I was like, ooh, I don't like this. I mean, I like being successful. I enjoy that. But I wouldn't want like paparazzi following me. I don't want to get like that.
Yeah.
I would like to have a measure of success where I don't have to worry about finances and I can bless my family and my loved ones, but that I'm not being followed through by paparazzis or things like that.
Yeah.
Like whatever that level is right there, that's where I want to be.
Yeah. How do you like, I mean, do you
like
feel like you're
famous
there?
enough to get free stuff, but not get followed. Yeah.
That's a good level.
I feel, do you feel like you're there? I feel like you're there.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I am there and I forget that.
Yeah.
I forget, for sure forget. Like I just be living my life and then all of a sudden, like, you know, I'm at a restaurant and I've just enjoyed my meal with whoever I'm with and like, oh, thank you, we'll take the check, thank you. And then they drop the check and they're like, we're big fans. And I'm like, oh shit, okay.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like it's great, but it's also like, oh, what have I been saying? What have, like what were they listening to? What, you know what I mean? Because then it's that, like what of my conversation. And I remember there's one time I wasn't pregnant yet and I was doing IVF and like all this kind of stuff. And my husband and I were at a restaurant and we're sitting on the patio and we're having a conversation and then there's like some sidewalk space and then other tables and, you know, they're minding their own business, having a conversation. And we're talking about IVF and like, what are we going to do? And whatever, just having our own conversation. And then we get up to leave and that table who I thought was minding their own business was like, hey, we're big fans. And I was like,
oh shit.
oh, thank you. And I was like, shit. Oh, what? Because nobody knew yet that we were even considering trying anything. So I was like, oh my God, like I gotta watch what I say. I can't just be talking willy-nilly out here, like, because you just never know. Because I'm not that famous to where I know every single person knows who I am and just keep my mouth shut. Like I'm just famous enough to where I can forget and then be reminded as I'm exiting the building. I'm like, oh,
as you just said all your secrets.
Exactly. Exactly.
Did you like share about your IVF stuff on
I did.
social?
Afterwards, I did. Yes.
Okay.
We did IVF and it didn't work. And then I ended up getting pregnant naturally is what happened.
wow.
I feel like that happens so often
Yeah.
for women.
Yeah. It happened for me. I'm very grateful because I did not want to do it. I was going to do it again, but I did not want to do it again.
It was rough.
It would have been my third time. Yeah.
Damn.
It's rough.
That's a journey. I just watched Say I Won't. That's
Thank
your
you. Thank you for watching it.
Of course. That's your most recent special, right?
Yeah.
You have such a so towards the like middle and end, you started to get a little into trauma, but the way you say it is just so light.
Which one? Which trauma?
Which part? Well, I don't know. Well, you mentioned like if a COVID test could undo childhood trauma.
Oh,
if you could get in there and just noodle it around.
Yeah.
But that way you keep it so, and I wouldn't say this is trauma. This is more just like personal stuff, but like you and your husband fighting.
Oh yeah.
And how you go about that.
Yeah.
So freaking relatable.
Thank you.
And interesting because Melanie, I don't know if you saw it, but like she talks about how your husband is more, it's in like, I hesitate to say this because I don't want to make it about women and men, but I feel like, I'll just say it. You say it. It's your story.
Okay, which part? Set me up and I'll take it away.
About how he like a Talkument. Like what is it?
Yes. We get in Talkuments. He likes to say that we don't argue that we have Talkuments, and the more he says Talkument, the more I just want to be like, he is like he's a communicator. He's full on summa cum laude debater. Just like, okay, well, bring me your facts. What are your facts? And I'm like, you're dumb. Fact one. And I just get emotional, and I'm just like, once I get emotional, forget it. I can't think properly. My therapist calls it what I forget which brain she calls it, but it's like basically like when they say flipping your lid, that you're literally like flipping your lid, you know? And I was like, oh yeah, it's definitely me, because I get like here and I'm like, triggered. I can't reconnect. I cannot.
Yeah.
But so yeah, once I'm already like up here, then forget it. And he's Puerto Rican and spicy, so he already like has a volume. He already has a volume and a passion that is not to be confused with aggression, but I confuse it a lot. And it's like, he'll be coming at me with this tone, and then I'll match his tone. And he's like, why are you talking like that? And I'm like, because you're talking like that. And he's like, no, I'm not. Like, that's just how he like is.
Yes.
He's just passionate and loud all the time. So the second I match it, he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then forget it. I'm gone. I lost it. And then the argument then becomes not what we were arguing about. It becomes how I reacted to what we were arguing about. Ooh. And then it's all about me and how my vibration is low.
You're like, it takes two to vibrate, dude.
He used my own words against me because I'd be talking about frequencies and vibration. He'd be like, you're not operating at, and I'm like, don't use my words against me.
You low vibe.
He'd be like, you're acting real low frequency right now.
I love it. That's funny.
So relatable, dude. Did y'all like... Do y'all go to couples therapy or have you?
Yeah, but we haven't in a while.
Oh, okay.
We kind of go just when we need it. Nice. You know?
Yeah.
And we haven't needed it, so that's been great. But we definitely have for sure over the years. And it's been so helpful. The first time we did couple therapy was actually here in Nashville years ago. We had just gotten married.
Okay.
And we've been married for almost 13 years. And he was touring at the time. We had just gotten married and neither one of us knew how to be married. And so we were both touring. He's a musician. I'm a comedian. We went on our honeymoon. We came back from the honeymoon and then we both hit the road separate ways and just kept living our lives. And we're like, oh, wait. It was more me that was like, wait, aren't we supposed to like hang out and be together? You know, like, wait a minute. And then he would go from one tour to the next tour. And like, I got like 2 weeks with him. I was like, I don't like this marriage. Like, I don't like this one bit. And then our phone calls, we were both exhausted at the end of our shows. So our phone calls ended up being like, how was your show? Good. How was yours? Good. I'm tired. Me too. Okay, bye. And that's it. And so we were like struggling in the beginning. And when we were here on like one of his like off weeks, because he would tour out of Nashville. We didn't live here at the time. He would just tour out of here and I was here with him. We heard of this therapist who I wish I remembered his name because I would go back to him. He was fantastic. We still live by some of his techniques today that he taught us, his tools. And he counsels a lot of touring musicians. Like that's what he does.
That's awesome.
Help keep musician families together basically, because that's a different kind of life, you know? And two of the things that he taught us were how to have intimacy when we're away from each other and how to create like healthy boundaries, which one was we can't do tours back to back, mainly him, because he used to be a road dog and he didn't have no reason to go back home. But now you have a reason. So so now it was like you could do a tour, but then you got to take a month off and go home and stuff like that. So that was one of them. And the metaphor that he gave us for that metaphor, is that the word? Is to imagine Central Park in the middle of New York. You have all this hustle and bustle. And then there's this like just rest in the middle. And it was like, how did the city know that they were going to need this rest? And like, you could just come and like rest in the midst of hustle and bustle. He's like, you guys need a Central Park. You need like a rest in the middle of hustle and bustle. So that was like him taking time off from his tour and then me making sure I was making time. But the other one, the most important one, this is the one that we really still use, is you ask your partner, what is something that you thought today that you wouldn't have told me if I didn't ask?
Aw.
And that's nice. Really like getting into, because we think so many thoughts in a day that we're not even conscious of, that we're thinking them. Sometimes our thoughts rule our life. Sometimes our thoughts are the ones making decisions and we're all like, oh no, why did I just react like that? You know? Yeah. And so it's an opportunity. So even if we weren't near each other, but we were on the phone or whatever, it's like, what is something that you thought? And it's usually something vulnerable. Like I had an insecure moment today when I compared myself to this person, or, you know, I saw this girl and I thought she was hot, and, you know, like it's like an honest moment to come to each other and be like, okay, what's something that you thought that you wouldn't think? And then you start thinking, what were my thoughts?
Oh, I love
You know
that.
what I mean? Because we're not always conscious of our thoughts. So it's like, okay, well, I had an insecure moment, and usually it's comparison. You know, comparison is the thief of all joy, and social media makes that very easy to do. So it could be anything in that. I felt like a failure today when I didn't book that audition or whatever, you know? So that was a tool to help our conversations not just be, hey, how was your show? Good. How was yours? You know what I mean? And then
That's awesome.
It became more intimate because you're allowing the person to see into you. Intimacy, see into me.
Oh. I love a breakdown of a word. Come on. That's really dope. That's really you both had to slow down. Did you always wanted kids?
No,
right?
no, never wanted kids.
What?
We changed our minds very late. That's why we're old. So
really?
yes, girl, I'm about to be 42, honey.
What changed your mind?
COVID. That's not COVID exactly changing my mind, but it was during COVID. So my career has always been my baby. It's always been the thing I held most high. It's always been the thing that I think about when I go to bed at night. The first thing when I wake up, like my dreams, like I want to be an actress. And that was always my goal, my dream, the thing that I was working for. Never wanted kids. Kids felt like a consolation prize to me. Kids felt like if I have kids, then that must mean that I didn't get my dream. I didn't get my goal. That's how kids felt to me. Now, I wasn't super against kids. Like, I never want kids. I just wanted my career more.
Yeah.
You know? And so I was enjoying my life with my husband and just, you know, traveling, picking up and going whenever we wanted to. Like, we were having a great time. I have plenty of nieces and nephews, cousins, and I was like, this is great. I'm fun auntie, and that's fun. And then all my friends would always tell me how kids change their life in the best way possible. And I'd be like, okay. And they're like, the most rewarding thing ever. And I'm like,
trying to trap you, dude.
Yeah, I know. and I would do a joke about one of my friends and how she would like complain, like valid complaints though, be like, oh my gosh, like Mateo woke up with a fever, he has the flu, and then I had to be up at 5 a.m. for work, then I had to go pick up Noah from school with foot hand mouth disease, whatever that is. Like, just this is wild. I haven't slept for like 3 years. This isn't crazy. I can't even believe this, but it's so worth it.
Stop it.
Yeah. And I would be like, girl, that don't sound worth it. I don't want that at all. And then COVID happens. We're all home on lockdown, and nobody's touring, nobody's working, nobody's acting, nobody's auditioning, nobody's doing anything. Everybody's home. And it was during this time when I didn't care about my career like I used to, meaning like I would watch movies or TV shows and I'd be like, man, I can do that. I know I can do it. Like, when's my turn?
Yeah.
And then I would just watch movies and TV shows and be like,
wow.
like I didn't like need it.
Yeah.
Right. And then I wasn't like dying to get back on the road. And it was just like, I got to a place where I'm like, you know what? If this was it for my career, like, this was my peak. This is where and then after this, I'm done. I'm good. Like that was,
that's
it was
awesome.
what it was. And it was fun. And I never imagined in my life that I would ever take my career off of this pedestal and like bring her down, like right here to like eye level where I could like look her in the eye and be like, I appreciate you, but you are not me. You are not my identity. You are not like, I don't need you.
Damn.
I'm grateful for you.
Yeah.
Like, don't get it twisted. I am so grateful for you. I wouldn't be sitting in this beautiful house if it wasn't for you. I'm so grateful for you. But I don't need you, if that makes sense.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's a good place to be.
So when I got to that place, I said, oh, shoot. Did I mess up? Should I have had kids?
Oh my goodness, that just came up.
because everybody was saying like how rewarding kids were. And I was like, here I am with my career that I thought was my baby. And turns out it wasn't as rewarding as I thought. Like I still felt not empty at the end, but like it was never enough, you know? So I was like, maybe my career is not all that it's cracked up to be, that I've made it to be. Maybe I should have had kids.
Whoa.
Right. And I was like, I don't even know if I have any options left. Like, I don't even know. Do I have eggs? Like, I'm 38 at this point. So I'm like, I don't even know what my status is inside there. And that's when I started asking questions, and I went to the doctor, started drawing blood and, you know, checking my levels and all that kind of stuff. And the doctor was like, okay, like you have eggs, but it's minimal. Like whatever you want to do, you got to hurry up and do it. You don't have a lot of time left. And so that's when I started doing IVF to save my eggs. At this point, it wasn't even to get pregnant and have kids. I was like, well, let me just save my eggs just in case, because I'm still not for sure that I want kids. Let me just save it just in case. And as I started going through the process, I just kept getting more bad news and more bad news. Like, okay, we have 12 eggs. Great. That's a good number. And then the next ultrasound, like, just kidding. There's only 8. Oh, okay. Just kidding. There's only 6. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then when they went to do the retrieval, they only got 2.
Damn.
And they're like, okay, we're going to have to do it again. And, it was just like every appointment I would go to, they were like, listen, this may not be for you, just so you know. And it was like the more they would tell me that kids may not be for me, the more I wanted them.
Yeah.
And the more I was like, oh, no, wait, you can't take this from me.
It's like the
And
career.
And then it flipped. And now all of a sudden I want kids. And now we're doing IVF, not just to save my eggs. Now I want to combine it with my husband's sperm, and then you put it, and then you do the transfer and all that kind of stuff. Woo, woo, woo. So we did that whole thing, and I'm giving you the abridged version. Like there was so much just drama through the whole process. But long story short, we ended up with 4 embryos. They went off to testing, and none of them were viable.
Damn.
So they're like, you got to start over. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to do this again. And this was wild because during this process of IVF, I found out I had fibroids, and they were so big and in a location that where I had to get them removed in order to get pregnant. So I ended up getting my egg retrieval, and then like 3 weeks later went in to have my fibroids removed. And while they were doing my fibroids, they saw I had so bad endometriosis everywhere that my surgery ended up being not 4 hours, but 8 hours.
Oh my God.
And it was like so traumatic on my body. I will spare you the details of what they had to do, taking things apart and sewing them back together.
Yeah.
And then after that, 2 weeks later, I launched my book release came out. My book came out.
Oh my God.
And I had my book release party 2 weeks later. I'm full on like pain meds.
Yeah.
And I remember the moment when the pain meds wore off, and I was like, oh, time to go home. And then a week later after that, I started my tour that lasted about a year. And it was like I was so busy. All these things were planned. You don't just plan a tour like, okay, let's go on tour next week. Like this has been in the works for over a year. And then also because of COVID, all the surgeries were like taken off the books. Fibroids is like elective, like it's not even like mandatory or whatever. So they took off all these things off the books. But then there was an opening. They squeezed me in. So I was like, great, let me get squeezed in 2 weeks before my book comes out and like 3 weeks before my tour starts. But I needed to get them out in order to try to get pregnant. So that was how I started my tour and my book release and all of that. And they told me my embryos weren't viable, and it was a whole thing. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll do it again in November, because that's the only time I have 3 weeks off, because I'm on tour every week until like next March, like a whole year from now. But I do have a few weeks in November. So that was the plan. I was going to do it again in November. And I ended up getting pregnant naturally at the end of September.
It's wild.
And I filmed my special here in Nashville at the Ryman on October 1st. I was pregnant. I didn't even know it.
Oh, wow.
Because you said you were like, I don't
Yeah.
have kids. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
shit. Ugh.
I didn't even know I was pregnant. I got pregnant like that week before.
And Rosie's in there like, you do have a baby.
Yeah, she was still like a spark in there. She was still like,
They say like I've had to have endometriosis surgery, and they say like it's the best time to get pregnant. It's like right after that because everything's kind of cleaned out and
that's what happened.
doorways are open.
Wow,
Yeah. So
yeah.
I bet that makes sense.
When you had to go back into work so hard, were you like, ugh, or were you back on that like, all right, let's just lean back into the career?
Leaned in real hard. And that's the crazy thing, how you were just saying, like, that's the best time to get pregnant after you've had endometriosis removed because it's all clear. At the same time, and I wasn't trying to get pregnant, or in my brain, this wasn't the purpose. The purpose was, I was like, you know what? I have my taping October 1st. I am going to get snatched for this taping. And so I was like, I'm going to start eating healthy. No more fried food at the clubs.
Let's
no
go.
more late night, chicken tendies after my late night set. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, I'm going to stop eating after 8 p.m. I'm going to work out in the hotel. I'm at the Holiday Inn where they have like 3 free weights and like a treadmill. And I'm like, I'm going to get it in. I'm going to do my YouTube workouts. And I was like, I'm going to get snatched for this taping. And I'm not going to drink alcohol. So I didn't drink alcohol. I was eating healthy food. I was working out. And I was preparing for my taping. But really, my body was preparing to get pregnant.
Oh,
I love that.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes, and you did look good, dude.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I had like this much midriff showing, and I was like, oh my God.
There's something that you mentioned in it is you talk about being older, but it's such in like a light, funny way because you're good at what you do.
Well, thank you.
But is that like a big?
How old are you?
I'm like 16.
I hate you.
Like 22. No, I'm 33. I didn't know if I was gonna add the 3 or not.
You're so stupid.
Some people I say 30.
To be honest, in like the 9th inning, you were like.
Some people I don't add the 3.
You said
but I didn't want to lie to you.
Pause 3. 30. Pause for reflection. 3.
I'll tell her. You feel me though?
Bro, you're at your Jesus age. This is great.
See, people say that, and I'm like, that was not a good year for him.
It wasn't. But you know what? We're going to turn it around for you.
Like, that was probably the worst year of his life.
He was in his prime.
That's true. That's true. And he did come back from death.
He did.
In that same year, I think.
He did. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was like 3 days later.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Same week.
Bruh. But does that bother you getting older?
Okay. Well,
Melanie, what?
it's okay. Not that it bothers me. It's radical acceptance constantly. And it's radical acceptance of things like my face changing. So like, you don't realize it because it happens so gradually, but like the elasticity in your skin starts loosening and then you start like sagging a little bit. And I'm not even like hella like older, like sagging, like she's a senior citizen. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm at the age where I'm starting to notice it and I'm like, oh, wait. Hold on.
You're like, wait, that needs to be up here.
Yeah.
It won't go anymore.
It's a lot of that. It's a lot of wait. Hold on. That's not where it used to be. In like pain in random places of your body for no reason, for just because I sneezed. You know what I mean? Just because I brushed my teeth. I threw out my back recently.
Oh God.
While I was brushing my teeth. Because I was brushing my tongue and I gagged and I threw my back out.
Damn.
And stuff like that. That I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
That bothers me. Yes. But so it's like radical acceptance of aging gracefully. Like I know I'm not that like hot 20-year-old, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want to be.
You don't want to be the hot 20-year-old?
I don't want to be the hot 20-year-old, but I do want to age gracefully. Like I do want to ease into aging. I want to embrace aging, but like ease into it, you know?
And what does that look like? What does that mean?
Like a little bit of Botox.
Yeah.
All the way Botox, but just like a, you know what I mean?
A little bit.
Like I still want to have expressions.
Yes.
You know?
Okay, yeah. But it doesn't bother you in like career wise. Cause I feel like that's like an old kind of mindset to think that women getting older, you don't get the same things you did when you were younger.
Right. I'm sure there's still some level of truth to that, but not really. I mean, look at Betty White.
Yeah.
Betty White was crushing it in her second half of the life, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I feel like the only thing about getting older, like the sky's the limit. I can still do whatever. I could write an amazing show that people fall in love with when I'm in my 50s. Like, who knows, you know? But the only thing about like getting older and like career wise is the illusion of, oh, I missed it. Because the younger generation, they're attaining a level of success at this age. And you're like, oh man, well, I'm already at this age, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't have that level of success when I was that age. Did I miss it? You know?
Interesting.
So it's like kind of like a comparison and also like industry standard. Like the industry loves beauty, like Hollywood, movies, TV shows. We love beauty. That's why we don't see a lot of older women in beauty campaigns. It's like the young girls that have flawless skin, and you don't see the lady in her 60s, and we're not idolizing her. We're not looking up to her and going like, oh my God, she's gorgeous. With her still having some wrinkles and like, you know what I mean? Like we don't honor that in
so true,
society. So because of that, now it's scary. We honor the young girl who's like tight skin and snatched body. And the second you like veer away from that and you start going downhill, then it's like, oh, scary times ahead. You know what I mean? Because we don't celebrate it. We don't do that. And
if it is celebrated, it's like, look, we're celebrating it.
yeah, exactly. You know? Exactly. We're gonna do a fundraiser for all the senior
old
women
people.
out there.
Like, okay. Can't wait.
Yeah. We would like to honor you at our annual old lady brunch. If you're available, there's going to be a lot of us young girls. We're going to hand you like awards and stuff.
If you can hold it with your old hands.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your contribution and paving the way for us.
Yeah. You seem like such a like a go-getter. Like you were talking about your career. It was number one when you went to sleep, like always on your mind. Is that like how you were as a kid too? Just like, no?
No. I don't like to work hard.
Oh.
It's funny because I feel like a lot of times
you're giving the
compliment
opposite
me
vibe.
on like my work ethic and stuff. And I actually don't enjoy hard things. And here's a perfect example of that. My stand-up career started because this like YouTube video blew up, right?
Yeah.
I took a joke writing stand-up comedy class at a church, and it was free. And that's how I started doing stand-up. And it was on Tuesday nights. And I only did it because I was in the acting class there. And it was a church that like catered to Hollywood because they knew a lot of people were coming to Hollywood to chase their dreams and still wanted to go to church. So every Tuesday night they would have like acting class, dancing class, production. Oh, wow. And I was in the acting class and there was a woman there who was like, hey, she's a comedian. And her name is Lisa Alvarado. And she was like, do you want to come take my joke writing class? And I was like, I don't know, is it free? And she's like, yeah, we're just in that room over there. And I'm like, okay, I guess. I had no desire to be a comedian. it was just a free class.
Wow.
And I was funny in this acting class because we would play improv games all the time and I would be funny. So I was like, okay. And I remember I was like, yeah, I do this nail salon character that I think I could make that into a joke. And she was like, oh my God, nail salon jokes are so hacky. I would steer clear of nail salon jokes. And I was like, but I don't know if anybody does it like me. I'll still do it anyway. So I take this joke writing class and she gave us assignments like go home and write a joke about your name. And she would teach us different techniques like the rule of 3, imagine if, and like paint the picture of them and like take people on a journey and all of a sudden make a left turn. Like she taught us like so many things that I feel like I would do naturally in conversation, but I didn't know to label it that.
Yeah.
That it was like, oh, that's an actual thing. Like I always do that in conversation. That's interesting. You know what I mean? And so I was able to now identify the things that I was doing so I could do them on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so after this class, our graduation was we had to perform at a real comedy club. And I did well at our performance. And had I not done well, like if I would have bombed, I would have never done it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I wasn't wanting to be a comedian where like, I'm going to work hard at this. And like, I bombed this time, but I'm going to try again. I'm going to get back up and try again. I'm going to write another joke. I'm going to keep trying. Like if I bombed, I would have never done it again. I would have been like, oh no, that was not for me. Bye. Like moving on. But I did well. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll try it again. And then I would go up at another spot. And then I was like, oh, okay, sure. Yeah, I'll try it again. And that's kind of like how it started.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know a lot of people who do enjoy hard things.
True.
You know what I mean? Like some people enjoy going to the gym and working out and lifting until like they can't lift anymore. Like, oh, that feels good to them. I'd be like, as soon as I feel that burn, I'd be like, ooh, God, that's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of how I am in real life. Like as soon as I feel the burn in whatever it is that I'm doing, I'm like, ooh, okay, I'm done. I'm good.
Even throughout this whole career that you had.
Yes. But the thing is, I still push myself.
Yeah.
Like I won't give up. Like I keep going. As much as I'm like, ugh, I hate this. I hate working hard. Like I don't, fine. I'll get up at 2 a.m. to get to the airport at 4:30 a.m. to board the plane at 5:30. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, fine, I'll do it. Even though I only slept like 3 hours. And I don't say that to be like complaining about my career. I'm just saying it's a lot of hard work that we put in every stage of our career, from when you're just driving from city to city to city to do like, a college here, a bar here, a laundromat here. Like
Yes, dude.
at that phase, at that stage of your career, that's a lot of hard work. And then you get to this stage and then you're flying from here. And then now you have to wake up and do press from like 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. because you got to sell those tickets because your tickets didn't sell well. And then you're at the next level of your career. And then now it's like, there's always like hard work at each stage. And I've shown up and I've done the work. I just don't like it. Like, I don't like to work hard.
Yeah.
But I do. I'm like,
You're not like, I gotta grind. Like this
Yes.
feels amazing.
yes,
Yeah,
yes. Like
yeah.
I'm not that person, like grind all day.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's supposed to hurt, dude. It's supposed to
Yeah,
hurt.
yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. So
Yeah.
I hope it's not coming off any other type of way than that.
No.
It's just, I'm definitely not that like all day grind. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm more like, I like sleep. And
That's
I
so
want to go to
nice.
dinner with my friends and, like I like hanging out. And like, for instance, I've had the past few weeks off of the road and I have enjoyed it so much, just being home and being a mom and like doing mom things, like cooking for my daughter.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And feeding her and like running with her to Whole Foods and just like get in the car and let's just go, run an errand real quick. Like just like stuff that we take for granted. Like I've been enjoying just doing that and not thinking about getting on a plane, not thinking about anything really. But sometimes I do it to a point where I'm like, I need to write a joke. I forgot I'm a comedian. I'm not working right now, but I'm about to. So I should probably think about what I'm about to do. I should probably write a joke. And then that's why I called you the other day and I was like, girl.
Do you know you have to write jokes?
You know what this career is about? Do you know what you signed up for? Like, you have to write jokes. And then when you write them, you gotta go practice them.
And that doesn't ever end.
In front of people. And sometimes they don't laugh. No. Sometimes they're not gonna laugh. And guess what? In the moment, you gotta figure it out. If they don't laugh, what you gonna do? Who knows? You'll figure it out, though.
That sounds so fun.
But anyways, then I called you. And I was like, girl, I need some accountability. I said, I'm going to come see you. I'm going to pick you up and you're going to come with me to my show.
Help.
Held you hostage.
No, it was so wonderful. It was so wonderful.
Rearrange the set for you so you're going to get off in time to come with me.
Hey, she's got to go.
She was at the end of the show and I was like, how could she get up sooner? So she could come with me. And they're like, Anjelah, we'll get you up right now. I was like, no, not me. I need her to get up. I was so grateful. I had so much fun hanging out with you the other night. That was so fun.
I love being around you.
It felt good. It felt good, like being in the industry of what we do, being in the vibe, being in the green room, being in the with
all
other
the comics hanging around.
Yes, it felt good to be in that because I was sharing with you that night too. Like I have my own anxiety about being in those spaces. Like at my own show, it's fine because it's my green room. I bring my team, the people who I'm comfortable with, the people who I know. They know me. We're not just knowing each other. We're actual friends. We know each other's families. Like. I bring my road family with me, so I'm comfortable in my own green room. But then going into just a green room with just who knows who's going to be there. And I don't know, I have my own anxieties that I've always had. And so sometimes it's nice to have someone to like, oh, be my homie. We're homies. You know what I mean? And so I'm grateful. Thank you for hanging out with me. How much do I owe you?
A lot, dude. I don't know if you're ever going to be able to.
Venmo?
Yeah, that works. Do you have social anxiety just in general, like before you did stand up?
Sometimes, but not, I mean, yes and no. Like I forget everyone's name immediately. And I think that's like a social anxiety tick that I have. Where like I'm in conversation and like, hey, nice to meet you. What's your name? It's like I don't even ever hear it. It like comes in and goes right out. And that's like part of my like anxiety. Like, great.
Yeah.
And like
you're like, oh my God, I'm out. I'm meeting people. There's a lot.
Yeah. Like and then I'm very just surface conversation is hard. Like I don't like it.
It's draining.
You know what I mean? Like it's more draining than I love a deep conversation. I love to just like settle in and just be like, how are you abused? You know what I mean?
Same.
Want to share abuse or? But like deeper conversation that feels more comfortable to me. Like I can settle and be, oh, this feels good. But walking on this like frozen ice up here is like, oh, this feels so fake. It feels so like, we're just saying words to each other. Yeah, we're just saying words. Okay. I hope I remember your words at the end of this because I'm not real good at it. But nice to meet you. Bye.
Yeah. Which you have to do a lot of, I feel like, with your job.
Yeah.
Like meeting people all the time. It's like.
Yep. I tell people, whoever I'm with, to like help me remember. Like as soon as I walk away, I'll be like, what was their name? What? Who are they again? Oh, they manage so and so and blah blah blah. Like, okay. And I'll probably need like another reminder, but even just having that like that so-and-so, they work with so-and-so.
Right.
Oh, okay.
But if they would have led with how they were abused, you would have been like, no, I remember them.
Yeah. No, DV right there.
Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, I know her.
How did you go to therapy now?
Yeah, I haven't in a while, but I do encourage it. But I haven't gone to my therapist. Here's why. Here's why.
Like, no, I don't, but you should.
Yeah. Okay, this is why. I hope she's not listening.
Uh-oh.
She's great.
She's so sweet.
She's so sweet. But she raised her prices.
Damn. That's not where I thought this was going.
Me either.
And listen, I can afford it, but it's principle at
That's
this point.
the principle of it all.
No. How long were you seeing her?
A few years. I've had a few different therapists over the years. One I really, really enjoyed throughout my 20s. I really enjoyed her. But then like after I think I was with her for like 10, 12 years, it kind of felt like girlfriends gabbing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I think I have to move on because I could do this with my friends at home. You know what I mean? Like I kind of felt like that. And so then I moved on from her and then I bounced around and tried a bunch of different people. And then I found this lady, she was amazing. And she does mainly couples therapy, but she does do just, individuals as well. And she was great. And then she just kept raising her prices more and more and more. And then
You're like, go off, queen.
yeah, good for you. And then in COVID, it was like, we're only doing Zooms, but also I raised my prices $100. And I was like, wait, to have less contact with you?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, but it's like almost $500 a session
No.
for an hour. And I'm like,
What?
I'm just going to do betterhelp.com.
That's wild.
And just,
Oh.
you know. So I
Have you
would
tried BetterHelp?
No, I kind of want to though.
No.
Don't?
No.
Oh, everybody says no?
No.
Oh, and our sponsor
I'm
for
saying
this.
no. Don't do that. Please.
Okay, teach me your ways after.
Should go to hers. That's what I tell everybody. If you're looking for a therapist.
You just do regular therapy?
What
Like,
do you
just
consider
like-
regular?
Well, because you specialize in trauma therapy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I guess everybody kind of has trauma. But
But not, there's trauma informed and there's trauma trained. So people trained in modalities to work with trauma because talk
Okay.
therapy won't get to it. Won't
and
get
what
to
do you
it.
do? You don't do talk.
I mean, there's some not always involved, but mainly no. I work more intensive format but I have a group practice, so I have a therapist that work with me that.
Oh,
do
you
all
said
that.
group. I thought you meant group setting. I was like, nah. Hi, I'm Anjelah. You may have seen my videos. I was abused.
No.
Okay, not that kind of group. Okay.
She has people that work for her.
Okay, you the boss. That's why we're in this nice house.
Yes.
I do enjoy talk therapy though, because I feel like it helps
so
me.
funny. No, it was funny what you said, and Melanie's reaction is like, don't.
Oh, just kidding. Undisclosed location.
Okay.
You like
Okay.
talk therapy? Have you ever done EMDR and stuff?
I have.
brain spotting.
Brain spotting.
I have. Is that different than EMDR? I don't know what brain spotting is. No.
It was created out from a certain version of EMDR.
Oh, okay.
But-
No, I haven't.
No, I'm trained in both. They're both great.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'll try it. Maybe I'll make an appointment with you,
Mm-hmm.
and then you'll come on the next podcast and be like, "I can't say who it was." But
No, really, it's like an open mic over at her place. Like, there's a lot of comedians over there.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
I don't see them all, but my group of people,
okay.
yeah, they normally get connected with somebody.
How did you start working with comedians? Oh, you started bringing them all? You're just like, you need help.
Guys, you want to be on the show? And then I just tricked them.
Yes.
And brought them.
Yeah.
It's my marketing plan.
No, really through the podcast. Like,
I mean, we're talking about it, trauma stuff. And so if they happen to need somebody,
Yeah.
I'm like, I can hook you up.
Okay, I would like to try. I did EMDR a long time ago with my therapist that I was with for a long time. And then it became like Girls Gabbing. I did it with her a long time ago. I would like to try it again. But the thing that I love about talk therapy is, like I said, like once my emotions get involved, it gets real messy. And my husband can ask me a question and I'm like, I don't know. And I literally don't know.
Yeah.
But when a therapist asks me the right questions to like start uncovering and like moving things, and I'm like, oh, there it is. It's because blah, 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 you know?
The things moving are emotions.
Or whatever. Like she's like, well, you know, whatever questions she's asking to start peeling the onion. Like I would have never thought to like ask that question of myself. And then I'm like, oh, I never thought about that. Maybe it's because this, and that. And then I start talking and then she's like, okay, well, how did that make you feel? Oh, maybe it's like this or whatever. Do you think that maybe blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, oh, let me think. You know, and they just start like asking me these questions that I feel like on my own, I have a hard time getting there.
Yeah.
But with that guidance, I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much. I feel the same way about acting, to be honest. Like I'll read a script and I'll just read the words on the page and be like, okay, this is what it is. And then I go to coaching and they show me like all these different things in the script that I was like, oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Whoa. Like, yeah, it is so layered and whatever. And I'm like, that's kind of like me in therapy. I'm like, I didn't even see that. Okay. Yeah, I get it. So that's kind of why I like talk therapy, but I would like to try that again.
It's a mix. Like you can't really, I mean, someone could come in and literally just brain spot, but I mean, it's a mix of stuff, but normally it's someone who's done more talk therapy and has a lot of understanding of how their traumas creating things for them and what they want to work on. And then we kind of dig into it that way. You can also use brain spotting to help develop characters for entertainers.
Oh.
And like writer's block for writers and athletes for yips and things like that.
That's
so you
cool.
can develop like characters.
Oh, that's
It's
awesome.
really neat.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
I definitely feel a writer's block right now. So maybe I'll come in and make an appointment.
Yeah, you were saying you don't want to like only talk about being a mom, right?
Yeah. I have a lot of material right now of like my journey from pregnancy into having a baby and what that's been like and how that's affected my marriage and, you know, that kind of thing. But I'm like, I don't want my whole hour to be, I'm a mom now, you know, like
Why
I want to
not?
talk about other things because not everybody, I enjoy being relatable to people, not just one group of people.
Yeah.
So my show has always been kind of like all over the map. Like there's a through line, but I'm going off on tangents here, there, and everywhere. It's not just like the, you know, one person can relate to me type of thing. I like connecting with a bunch of different people. At one point in my show, I can connect with this guy right here. At another point, I can connect with this woman over here. And maybe she's not connecting on everything I'm saying, but in this one moment, me and you, girl, we got it. You know what I mean? But I feel like if I'm just talking about being a mom, it's almost like, okay, we get it. You're a mom. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying.
Even though like my stuff that I'm talking about now, the through line is I'm a mom, but the tangents are like, and this is how it's affected my marriage.
Yeah.
And it's all like marriage stuff. And then it's like, and this is, you know, I'm an old mom. And then I'm like, every special I do, I talk about getting older. I'm like, do I still want to talk about getting older? I mean, that's the only thing going on in my life right now. Like, so I'm getting older and I'm a mom. So I guess that's what I talk about. But I don't know. I want to like pause and reflect and think of like, okay, what other stories from childhood have I not told yet that could be relatable? That could, and maybe it's still with the through line of being a mom. Maybe it's like, you know, I don't want my daughter to do what I did when I was 8 years old, you know? I don't know.
It's really cool to hear you say that because you've been doing this for so long and I just like I relate to that thought, you know, like that's so cool that you're still like, crafting, you know, you're not just like, all right, I got the next hour. Boom. It's like, I want it to be like this or feel like this. Yeah. That's really cool.
I definitely feel at a place. I'm glad you think it's cool. Thank you so much. No, I definitely feel at a place where I'm like, what's the second half going to be about? I wonder.
But you've done what, 6 specials?
Yeah.
Don't you feel that every time where you're like, what else do I have to say?
Yeah, I do. Which is why I'm not like hopeless, being like, oh, I'm done. I don't have anything else to talk about. I'm curious. I'm like, what the heck? What is it going to be? Because I don't have it yet. It's not there. But also, I'm just so present with my daughter right now and being a mom and my husband and like being family that I'm not in the moments going like, oh, this is good. I'm going to talk about this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just kind of like living and then I go, oh, shoot, I got to write a joke.
Wow, that's so cool, Anjelah.
Yeah.
That's a really beautiful, like life is long and that's going to be a
Yeah.
really beautiful thing to like have in your life of like, I had this wonderful amount of time with my daughter and husband
Yeah.
that you didn't even think you were going to have a kid. And like,
Yeah.
that's so cool. And you'll always
you.
be funny.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people on YouTube that would disagree with me.
Oh, aren't they angels?
They're so sweet.
Love that they can type whenever they want. So cool. Oh, okay. I know we're wrapping up, but I just want to ask you a million more questions. No,
Yes.
I'm curious what made you go to therapy in the first place. Like, did your family, were they therapy people?
No. Okay. When I first moved to LA and I was starting my career wanting to be an actress, I called my cousin who was living there. He was in radio. He was on a morning radio station. And I was like, can I come live with you? And I want to try to be an actress. And he was like, all right, let's do it. So I moved in with him and he had been sober for many, many years and went through AA and therapy. And I've gone with him to meetings sometimes. And he was kind of like my therapist, where like I would talk to him about my problems and then he would do the therapist thing to me because he had been in therapy for so many years.
Nice.
So he knew like all the questions to ask and everything. And so it was kind of him encouraging me to get into therapy. And that's kind of how it started. And I knew I had daddy issues. Like I knew I was like, my temper and my anger and all of that came from my dad and my relationship with my dad. So I knew there was a lot to uncover and like release with that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it started. And I was in my early 20s.
Wow. And then stayed with her for so long. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Did you get to move through the things you wanted to move through?
I feel like yes. And then of course there's always stuff, you know, when I pop off and my husband likes to remind me that I be acting real Johnson like. But I did a session of like muscle testing one time. And like, you know, he does the doctor, he does the like sound, like he has this little machine that he like scratches and it's like doing like sound waves or something, right? And he's doing like touching
It's
me.
kinesiology.
Yeah. And words, big words. And like, so he's doing like all these things and he's like scratching this thing and he's like, I hear this sound and he's like, he'll like, you know, do certain things. Right. And then he's asking me questions while he's working on me.
Was
And
this
is
someone
like,
here?
Yeah.
Was it Chris Motley?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dr. Motley, who I love, who I just texted him the other day. I was like, hey, can you fit me in? But my first session with him was probably like 5 years ago, maybe in LA. And I remember when, you know, he was doing all the things, asked me all the questions. And he's like, okay, your spleen is blocked. I don't know what it was, right? It's blocked. Okay, I definitely feel anger with a family member, your dad.
Damn.
And I was like, oh, so my therapy's not working. I'm like, you just found that in a muscle,
wild.
like in an organ. And I'm like, oh, okay, new therapist. Got it.
Whoa.
You should do sound therapy too.
Yes. Oh my God.
Sound therapy.
It's the same kind of
It'll do
thing.
that kind of thing.
Yeah. Where this woman didn't know my life and she was like, ooh, at 8 years old, this happened. And I was like, Who told you that? It's so good. It's so
very
good.
good. And then combine that with therapy. Like what comes up in the
I'm gonna
sound
be perfect.
stuff.
I'm gonna be
You're
perfect
perfect and
afterwards.
healed.
Watch
Yeah.
out. I'm gonna be so
Nothing
healed.
will be wrong with you.
I'm gonna be so healed, you guys. Nothing will be wrong with me.
Nothing.
Just watch.
Just watch.
I'm gonna start walking like this after. Just like a Barbie. Like, 'cause I'm gonna be so perfect.
And then that's what you can talk about for an hour.
Yeah.
How
yeah.
perfect
Anybody
you
else
are.
perfect?
Anybody relate?
Anybody else? Anybody else completely healed?
No.
No. I'll give you my therapist number. Have you done sound therapy?
Kidding, you're deaf. You're not listening. You're not listening. You're one. Okay. One more thing.
Yeah.
Did you ever talk about your dad in your jokes?
All the time.
Really?
Every set. Every hour I've done.
Was it hard to?
Yes and no. He loves it. Everybody, he loves the shout out. But there was one time where I took out some of my jokes about him. I would do a lot of jokes about him like being cheap and, you know, he uses coupons for everything, even things that don't apply to him. Like he just saves the coupons and like he would buy us like cereal and soda for our birthday gifts, you know, and just like household things that everyone's going to partake in. But it's like the excuse is it's my birthday. and he would wrap it in newspaper. And so I would do all these jokes about my dad being like super, super cheap. And I remember he came to my show one time. I was doing all my jokes about him and they're all funny. They're all like lighthearted and they're all true. And it's stuff to where you'd be like, no way, that's true. But every single one of them is true. And I remember after a show, I'm standing by my merch booth and my dad was there and there was a lady at the merch table. My dad walks up and I was like, oh, hey, Dad. And she goes, oh, you're the cheapskate.
Oh, no.
And I was like,
I say that. You don't.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I saw my dad's facial expression drop. I saw him pretend to not be affected. And I was like, okay, let me ease up on my dad in my act. I can still do a couple jokes about him, but I went in on him and like him being cheap. And I did like every story I could think of. And I was like, you know, let me just sprinkle in a couple. But I didn't like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't want my family to feel any type of way. Like I want them to feel safe. If I'm going to talk about them in my show, like they need to be able to feel safe afterwards. Like not
That's
like,
so real.
you know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, what's really necessary? What's not necessary? I don't need to say this. I don't need to talk about this joke. Is not, I did another joke about my dad and I think I took it out. I can't remember what it was, but it was like, or did I not take it out? I forget what it was, but I remember it was a little zing. It was like a, and I know I didn't say it at the show that he came to. Like I purposely took it out. Yeah. But I might have said it in my special. I can't remember if I did or not. I thought I took it out, but it might be in there. Now that I'm like trying to replay it in my head, I was like, oh, I might have said it. I don't remember.
And you kept it in for yourself because you're like, this is just so true and good, dude.
It's true. It's good and it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is a little bit of form of therapy.
For
to
sure.
say what you experienced and make it funny. That's like,
yeah.
It is weird that like that woman, you don't realize how intensely people are listening.
Yeah.
You know, like I say my boyfriend's hot and they'll come up and like smack him on the ass, paint his, like rub his abs.
Oh.
They're like, yo, you're the hot one. Jesus Christ.
So you don't realize how like intently they're listening, but also they're listening with their own filter and their own whatever. So they form an opinion. But that's not even what I communicated.
Yes.
But they formed their opinion because of their own filter and life experience.
So true.
And I'm like, oh, wait, that's not what I said at all.
But you are taking it and running.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you going to say? Why do they?
I was just saying it's wild that they think they have the permission to
People are
do
wild
those
on the
things and
internet.
say
Have you
those
heard
things.
of the interwebs? It's wild out there. It is. Those streets are, listen.
Do you read comments?
I used to. And then I stopped reading for YouTube. I stopped reading all YouTube comments. And then when I started adding in more like postpartum stuff and like pregnancy stuff, I started reading them again because I felt like I had a different audience now. And it kind of shifted. Like YouTube is mainly men, right? Yeah. But I was cultivating a different audience on my own page. So I felt safe to come back and read the comments again on YouTube. And then on Instagram, I always read my Instagram comments. And Facebook is another one that is a hard one. Like because that's where the olds live.
And paragraphs, bro. Paragraphs.
Bruh. I'm like, somebody come get your grandma off Instagram, off Facebook. I mean, like, get her.
So true.
They be coming up with, and I feel like Facebook is where my dad lives too. It's like my dad be reposting the Onion articles like it's the gospel, and I'd be like, Dad,
the Onion. That's kind of cute.
Falls for it. He just falls for everything, and I feel like
he doesn't think they're
of
true.
The people in the he'll read anything if it looks like it's a news article. He's like, they said it. It was on the news.
Goodness.
But I feel like that's how a lot of people are on Facebook. Like,
true.
Yes.
It's wild on Facebook. So sometimes I don't like reading my Facebook comments because I'm like,
ugh. Isn't that weird how they're all so different?
Mm-hmm. I'm not a YouTube person.
It's
so
just messy over there.
She doesn't mean that, you guys, to everybody who's watching. She doesn't mean it. She reads every single one of your comments and thanks you for your support. Okay.
I'm just curious.
It can
y'all
be
talk
good.
about it like it's.
Oh yeah.
You
No,
said
it
messy.
can be. Well, so here's the thing. Like my stand-up clips, even now my stand-up clips is cultivating a different audience that I'm very grateful for. But in the beginning, it was just like, one, men have a hard time laughing at women or even just admitting that a woman can be funny. Mm-hmm. So if it doesn't speak to them, they can't just be like, oh, this joke isn't for me, but clearly it's for all the people who are laughing. They have to come to the comments and be like, this is the wackest shit I ever seen in my life. You need to go jump off a bridge. Like they go real deep into it. They're just like, all kinds of stuff. They're like, stop doing. I remember one guy left me a comment one time that was just like, you are the worst comedian ever. And he was like trying to be like, listen, I'm not just saying this to try to be mean. Like I'm trying to help you. Like you're the worst comedian ever. And you should really stop doing what you're doing.
I hate that shit. It's insane, but it hurts. It's like, why are you?
Well,
I'm like, sir, I am successful.
Yes. He's saying that with like millions of views under this video. Like, hey, I just have a tip.
Yeah.
I'm not really vibing with this. Okay.
Which means nobody is. I don't know who you paid to leave a comment, and that laugh track is obviously fake.
Oh, God. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, I feel sorry for people that's where they choose to spend their energy. It's like, move on if you don't like it.
Yeah. They get drowned out eventually, though.
Oh,
as you get more followers or whatever.
I don't know how
they
y'all
start.
do it.
Basically, I don't have to defend myself because everybody else comes in to defend me. But then I started like deleting them because I don't want people to fight in my feed. And I'm like, I don't want this energy. Let me just delete you because my fans will go in. And I appreciate them. Thank you. Hey, I see you. I've been seeing your comments.
I love it.
But then sometimes I'm like, I just don't want this energy on my feed. But if somebody did leave me a negative comment and they're going through and like there's comments underneath that people are being like, backing me up or whatever. Before I block that person, I look to see if anybody liked their negative comment, and they'll be like 13 people like this negative comment. Bitch, you better believe I block all 13 of them.
Let's go. How do you find them?
Oh, you just click who liked it. And then block, all of you. Oh, you like this negative comment? All of you. Bye.
Yes.
It's my favorite.
Oh, the power.
Bye.
That's so nice.
Control, Alt, copy, paste.
Fuck yeah.
I love that.
Yes. Thank you so much for your time and just being here.
Thank you.
You're
Thanks
so
for having
awesome.
me. Thank you so much.
You're so chill, down to earth, completely healed.
Thank you. I didn't even glue my eyelashes on today. I was like, I'm gonna come real.
Yes. Oh shit.
I was like, you know what?
That's a big deal. You were talking about that though.
You know what? Well, Kaylee was like, sometimes people cry, and I'm like, well, forget it. I'm not gonna glue my lashes in just in case.
Honestly, that'd be a look if they were falling off while you were crying.
I'm like, you know what? Like, but I'm totally healed now. You know, like.
I'm just me.
Listen, if you guys don't do sound therapy, like, it's not working.
Oh my god. Okay, I don't know if you want to say about.
You want my body count?
I thought that's what you said. Body count.
We ask everybody at the end. It's linked to trauma. Trust me. Your pug. Oh, do you want to?
Sorry, y'all.
Well, you can just tell people where to find you and what you want them to know.
Okay, you guys. I'm working on something special
It's announced
that may be familiar, maybe similar to what we're currently doing.
They're like laughing.
Stay tuned to my socials because I'll probably make an announcement soon about a new podcast.
And what all your socials are?
Oh, at Anjelah Johnson, ANJELAH Johnson. My name is now Johnson-Reyes, but I didn't change my socials because I was like, you know what? I'm already branded Johnson. This is too much.
Yes.
Too long of a name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just Anjelah Johnson. You know where to find me.
Beautiful.
Everywhere. Come say hello.
Yeah.
Unless you're on Facebook, I probably won't read that.
Say goodbye over there. Okay. Seriously, thank you so much. You're wonderful.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for being
Thank
here.
you. I'm going to make an appointment. Okay. Your plan worked.
It's her plan. Thank you for listening to I'm Fine, It's Fine podcast. My name is Amber Autry. I'm a comedian based here in Nashville and internationally touring. You can find me on all platforms at Amber Autry Comedy.
And I am Melanie Reese. I'm a trauma therapist here in Nashville. You can find me across all platforms at Trauma Therapy Nashville.
We really appreciate you listening so much. And if you want to give a little extra for free, make sure you're liking, subscribing, rating, reviewing, sharing with your friends, talking about it to literally everyone you see, because it helps so much. And we're so grateful for the extra effort.
And if you like what you're hearing and you want some bonus material, that includes interviews with other practitioners and all the juicy stuff that Amber and I talk about that doesn't go into the normal podcast. We'd love to have you subscribe. You can find the link in our bio, and $5 a month, you can do it.